Alright guys, Joe from Shiftworks here. We're out in the shop with Brandon.
We're going to show you how to set up your 64 to 67 Chevelle shifter for any GM automatic you want to use by using the Shiftworks cable conversion kit. If you want to skip the whole process of converting your factory shifter, we also offer these completely set up for various transmissions as a complete drop-in replacement package for your factory rod linkage style shifter.
We have a run-of-the-mill, like what would have been in your car originally from the factory. Ours looks kind of new here, and that's kind of because it is. We're going to go through all the same operations to show you how to swap this to a 4-speed. So we're going to get right into it. First things first, we have to take the dust boot off and remove this lever.
Okay, so now that we have all the rod assembly stuff removed, before we go over and drill off the bracket on the bottom here, we're going to install the cable pin. And how it goes on is just like this. Pin faces inside, then we take our washer, and then the nut, and then we're going to tighten them down with a 1/2 inch. And just snug it.
The next step is going to be drilling out the pivot point for the original lever. This is mainly so that way we can incorporate our new cable and bracket, and you will see that shortly. If you guys have the ability to do, we definitely recommend a drill press. It makes life a little easier, but nothing wrong with going old school.
So now once we get all the stuff off, we're going to take it over here to our nice drill press. If you don't have a drill press, you can do it the old-fashioned way with a regular drill. We're using a 5/16 drill bit. We're going to drill out the spot welds. There's 4 of them. And once you get down deep enough, you'll see here in a second, once I get there, there will be a little portion of where you need to stop so you don't punch through. Alright, so when you're drilling these, you'll notice you'll have to check periodically to make sure you're not punching all the way through. And like I said, there will be a little portion within the hole that you're drilling that will have a slight darker ring, and that's when you know to stop. The camera is having troubles picking it up. Then we can take this over here and break that off. Alright, now we're going to go over here to the vise, and for those of you that may not have a drill press at home and you have a handy dandy corded drill, use the vise. And we have a little technique of how to put it in the vise so that you're not bending your frame, and this is what we do. Set it right in here, and that little arm will mount right up against there. Whoop. And just snug it down, nothing crazy. 1 finger. Then we're going to take the BFH and just tap this off. Alright, now that the bracket's off, we can take this over to the bed and swap our detent. And it takes 2 10mm Keps nuts. Just got to remove these. And then there's a lock washer behind this that we're going to swap and put up against the body, and I'll show you how we do that. And take off these Keps nuts. And then we're going to take off these standoffs. And depending on the kit that you buy, it could be for a 3-speed a 4-speed, or a 6-speed. And for this instance, we're going to do a 4-speed. So we put it on here, behind the plate. Take that lock washer and put it right up against this. So that way, this doesn't come undone when you're driving down the road. And then snug these down. Now we're ready to install our cable mount bracket. We'll go back over here to the vise. Take your cable mount bracket that's supplied in the kit. It's got 4 holes. And we're going to mount it up here with our clamp to hold it. And it needs to be from the drive position on your detent so from the center of the pin to the face of the cable bracket should be roughly 6 1/8 to 6 1/2 inches. And then we're going to take our vise here, or our clamp I should say. I'm right-handed. Clamp it down, take our punch, lower this out of the way so you don't bang it with your hammer. Take your punch, and start a pilot hole. There. Alright, now we can drill these out with our drill using a 3/16 drill bit. Use a little lubricant and drill out your holes. Whoa! Okay, and then for most instances, when you're going from a power glide setup to a 3 or 4 speed, you'll probably want to buy our Shiftworks S500 neutral safety switch. And this we can mount right on the shifter. Easiest portion to set this on here is in reverse. Make sure this is nice and straight with your shaft here, your pivot shaft, which it needs a little bending. Then we'll take the switch and mount it right on there. Which it could take a little finagling. And there we go. Couple new 7/16 cup nuts. So now that we got our S500 neutral safety switch on there, we're going to try and set it up. You can either use a bench tester like we have, or we could use a voltmeter testing for continuity. And when you're using your voltmeter, you would hear your beeps from park, neutral, reverse, so on and so forth. So right now we're in the park position, which would be the top light. Then we're going to go back into our reverse. There's our reverse lights. And at this moment you would hear a beeping on your at-home tester voltmeter. And then we can go back to neutral. And that would be your 4th gear. on this setup. Reverse and park. Now that's set up. And now that we're all completed, this is ready to rock out into your car. And also, side note, if you don't want to do all that work, we sell them already set up. So you can just drop it in your car and go.
Oh, wait. And action.
Thanks, priceless.
I know. It's handy, man.